Okay, hello everyone. The gym people kind of made a mistake and they didn't show our video for the film fest, so we'll start our presentation by showing you that. Hopefully it's a bit entertaining.
And it kind of has a precedent, and you'll understand it a bit later, but we're good.
Oh, hi there. Some of you may know me as Anti-Plastic Man from the grade school in Sao Paulo. You know the one with the red hat, the green cape? Yeah, it's me. Today's my day off, though. Here's a beautiful beach with my ideas from Brazil. That doesn't mean I stopped caring about the environment. Did you know that every beach in the world has some form of plastic in it? Like a plastic bag floating in the water, or particles of plastic in the sand itself? Yeah, it's kind of bad. Unfortunately, beaches like this one are still habitable. They've been conserved. We want to keep it that way. So how do we do this? 2 years ago, I eliminated all the plastic from our campus. But that's not enough. We need to create an eco-culture within our society. We need to understand to be environmentally friendly all the time. To do this, we created 2 more projects. Idling projects. We tell drivers to turn off the engine while they're waiting for the students to reduce CO2 emissions. And also the water project. We changed all the valves in the toilets that graded to reduce the water use. In fact, over a year of these new valves, an Olympic pool's worth of water will be saved.
Hey, what's that in the corner of the screen? Is that plastic?
No! Ladies and gentlemen, when you see something like this, you have to do something about it. You have to act on it, like I did. Anti-plastic, idling, and water men. Huh? Well, anti-plastic men first.
Okay, so hopefully you guys are now a bit more interested in our little presentation that we're going to do right now. We're the environment group at Graded. I'm Kevin Bengtson, or Anti-Plastic Man.
Lisa Mizrahi, Paulina Martinez,
Victor Chang, and Carlo Crow.
And today we will be discussing how we can create an eco-culture at our school and at your school if you choose to pursue this. Thanks. So our project involved 3 things as discussed in the video. There was the first project, which took place 2 years ago, which is the plastic project. We'll discuss a bit more about this later. The second one is idling, and the third one is water. So we'll start with the plastic project. Okay, so I don't know how many of you came to the last conference at Graded. Show of hands. We showed this video which included the superhero Anti-Plastic Man, and I think you guys would like to watch it again, and whoever hasn't, this will be.
In the city of Gradyville, students, teachers, and staff face the greatest danger of them all: plastic. Everyone from children to adults are abusing the use of plastic and then quickly disposing of it after a single use. If these practices do not stop, the world will have faith in ending doom. Wait, what's that I see in the distance? Here comes Anti-Plastic Man, freeing this town from the evil plastic. He will save your town, even though he might look like a clown. The mighty have fallen. The and he couldn't sing it in danger. I'm the only one who can save it.
Savior of this planet, it is my duty to keep you from ever using plastic cups again.
Watch this.
Oh, thank you, Associacao. Now I don't need to use any more plastic cups. You are true. The graded water bottles won't work if they can't put water into them. Think. I have a solution. Watch this. Hey there. With the new water purifier, you can fill your water bottle with great ease. Great ease. Let's take a look.
All you have to do is follow these simple steps. First, get your graded water bottle, or any other. Then, press the button. Once the bottle is filled, press the button again. And you're all set, ready to go with your water.
Wow, you really are the safe salvation. Now, there's no more plastic, and we can easily get water. Thank you, anti-plastic man. No problem.
Remember that? Because graded people don't. I don't know if you know the whole gist of the project, but basically we eliminated all disposable plastic from our campus, including plastic cups, plastic water bottles, and the snack bar. And so we made this huge deal out of it, and we handed out aluminum bottles, aluminum graded bottles, to all the students on campus. And we told them that now we can use these new water purifiers to get water. You guys don't need to use plastic cups. You guys don't need to buy water bottles from the snack bar. It's all provided for you. But, as we know, we've been seeing too much of this and none of this. Students throughout campus are just using disposable plastic water bottles when we provided for free these beautiful graded water bottles. And it's kind of a shame because, one, they're abusing and wasting plastic, and two, I think it's a nifty bottle. It's pretty cool. And so, they seem to have forgotten this purifier that we have. It works pretty well. Initially, people didn't really know how to use it, so it was causing a mess with the water, but I think people got used to it and then forgot about it. And so, we kind of thought, we need to revitalize this anti-plastic idea at school because we are a plastic-free campus and we don't want people to use their disposable plastic bottles. So we created the CARP, which is the Campus Anti-Plastic Reawareness Program. And like I said, we want to revitalize the whole anti-plastic idea. There was a lot of energy when we first started this project. People were behind it, people were excited about it, but now it's just kind of died out and we're trying to get this back into our school. So the first thing we did, our first plan was kind of to emphasize again to all the students that we are a plastic-free campus, and really to remind everyone that we gave you aluminum bottles for free. And you can bring your own bottles, but it shouldn't be disposable plastic. It shouldn't be bottles that you bring to school once they're away, buy another one. And so the first thing we did to kind of bring this back to their minds was a little theatrical performance to the high school, and it featured Anti-Plastic Man. It was kind of embarrassing, but I think to the high schoolers this kind of made sense. They were kind of brought back to this whole idea of the anti-plastic, the plastic-free campus, and it was kind of a funny ordeal.
Can I add something? Like, it's funny, it's nice to make it funny because it's something that sticks on people's head. So when people think of plastic, they'll think of Anti-Plastic Man, and they'll think of our performance. And we also presented many facts in a funny way, so that's more engaging, and I think that's a very important part of it.
And not just that, but new students that came in the past 2 years, they weren't really aware of the Anti-Plastic Man and the whole plastic program, and they were the ones that brought all the plastic bottles. But now with the theatrical skit, we hope that they understood that it's a plastic-free campus.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this presentation was only to the high school, and we must be aware that our campus includes elementary, middle, and high school, and so we need to make the whole entire student body and staff and teachers, some of them are using disposable plastic bottles, but our lovely teachers right here, they're using our graded bottles. As we see, people quickly forgot about the whole plastic removal event. It was a big event. We brought these aluminum bottles, we had everyone get one, and so they will definitely forget about the performance. So how else can we keep this project relevant and active? Well, the new students haven't gotten their bottles yet, and so we hope that when we give them their bottles, it'll create an incentive for them to kind of think about the plastic-free campus idea. We thought of maybe making some posters throughout school, the elementary, the middle, and the high school. And then there are some people who will refuse to use aluminum bottles, won't name names, but they come to class and they're just using these disposable water bottles. And we were thinking maybe we should do some public ridicule. I mean, not in a mean way, just kind of a tacky, kind of funny way, which leads us to our Instagram page that we created. This is the Anti-Plastic Man Instagram page. We hope to kind of take shots of people using disposable plastic and kind of say, hey, this is not what you should be doing. And people have started following this account, which is pretty fun. And Victor and I, we created a little funny one just for the gym conference.
Hey, is that a disposable water bottle? Let me fix that for you. That's more like it.
And so we hope by posting little funny things like this, people will be reminded of the plastic-free nature of the campus, and in this way we can kind of revitalize the project and keep it alive for as long as we possibly can.
And you should follow them at Anti-Plastic Man.
It's really hard.
But yeah, we're making little jokes, and it might be funny, but we must never forget why we did this project in the first place. When we came to the first conference in Peru, there was a man, I do not recall his name, he presented his movie Midway, and it showed an island of birds who were dying because they were eating plastic. And this happens throughout the world. Turtles getting caught in plastic bags, and fish getting caught in other forms of plastic. And it's a really terrible kind of event that occurs because of our overuse of plastic. And we must really never forget that this beach was probably once a very beautiful beach, very habitable beach that that man was enjoying. But now it's just completely destroyed. And so we want to reduce our plastic use because we know that there are great effects on the environment, awful effects, as we see in these statistics here. we consume 53 billion gallons globally. For every 12 ounces of water bottled, 36 are consumed, and it's just only 1 in 5 bottles are recycled, which is a crazy statistic because I think everyone should be aware of the detrimental effects of plastic and that we should be careful in our plastic use. The plastic-free campus is a kind of crazy thing. It's very we just eliminated it, but I think it's for the better, and I think people need to realize this because we're trying to save the world a drop at a time.
So we've recently come up with the idling project. First of all, I would like to ask any of you if you know what an idling car is. Do you know? Can you tell us?
Yeah, it's when the engine's running in the absence of going anywhere. So you're in neutral, but you left the engine running.
Exactly. And the effect on this, on the environment, is brutal. First of all, by burning diesel, 40 hazardous pollutants are released into the atmosphere. The main ones are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and nitrogen oxide. These don't only cause environmental problems, but health problems. And by stop idling, you would even help in your economical problems because you will be saving fuel, exactly. Next. So 2 minutes of idling equals 1 mile of running your car when it comes to releasing gases. 10 seconds is you would save less by just turning off your engine and restarting it. So if you would save more fuel. The pollutants cause asthma, cancer, chronic bronchitis, and heart disease. So yeah, it's a really big problem. And in our campus, we have huge lines of idling cars waiting to pick up the kids. And well, for children, children breathe faster and they breathe more air per pound of weight than adults. So that's even they're even more vulnerable to pollution than any other people. So especially in our school and in many schools all around the world, we would like to stop this, and it would prevent so many diseases and deaths, and just help. We just want to start something that will help our environment and our people.
And already, like we live in Sao Paulo, and living in Sao Paulo is like smoking 4 cigarettes a day. So if we could eliminate idling, it would help, kids and help humans as well.
So yeah, pollution in Sao Paulo kills almost 1,000 people per year in 6 years.
All right, so how is this issue upgraded at your school? So, please. So we gathered, we did a little research, and we, sorry, Kevin, how many cars did we exactly?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So for a period of several weeks, we went out to the 2 parking lots we had at school, and we stayed there for about 10 minutes, and we just counted how many sedans were idling and how many SUVs were idling, because there is a difference between how much carbon they emit. And so we got from the Environmental Protection Agency, we got that on average sedans emit 3.83 grams of CO2 per minute, while SUVs emit 5.65. And then after an average idling time of about 20 minutes, we got those numbers, and emissions after an entire school year add up to almost 500,000 grams of CO2, which might not seem that much, but remember, this is just data we collected over 10 minutes in the parking lots. It's just separated. We're not counting even like running cars or cars in other places. This is just a single school. And so if you add up kind of the entire city of São Paulo, which is massive, it's over 10 million people, this is kind of a crazy thing that we have to deal with. And so we're just doing our part by kind of reducing this small bit, the small share that we have.
And through this project, we hope to spread it to other communities and other schools so that they can as well and start reducing stop idling cars. Okay, so one of the first things we wanted to do was, first of all, alert the parents and drivers because they're the ones that leave the cars running when they're waiting for their kids. And what usually happens is that they're just sitting in the cars, or maybe they're outside and the kids are just waiting in the car, and they can just easily turn off the engines. So one of the first things we did, and it's kind of like a short-term goal, was to first send out an email, and the email would be sent again to the parents and drivers and to the student body so they're aware of why the cars are going to be turned off now. And we wanted to do this best by showing the benefits that they would get from turning off their engines. And we're going to show the email in a little bit, but then we thought about, okay, maybe the parents forgot to tell the drivers, maybe they didn't really understand the email. So we thought about promoting it through flyers, so in the lines, or in the lines outside the school, or when they're just idling, we would go up and give them a flyer, then have facts on it telling them why they should turn off their engines. And it would be in Portuguese and English, and then we thought maybe we could give them a little reward, a little candy to tell them, here you go, thank you for turning off your engines. We hope that this will be enough, and this is the email we sent. It would be in Portuguese and in English. If you guys want to take some. Okay, so Dear Graded Community. As you know, the Graded Global Issues Network is working on campus to address 20 of the most pressing problems facing humanity. In an effort to reduce Graded's contribution to air pollution, the GYM group is introducing an idling policy. We ask drivers to cooperate by shutting off motors of parked cars while waiting in campus parking lots and while lined up on the streets entrances to the school. Shutting off motors while parked will save your fuel and reduce your child's exposure to harmful exhaust. We gently appreciate your support of our student communities, environments, and initiatives. Great, Jim.
All right, not only we're gonna distribute flyers and give out emails, we're also gonna strategically place signs throughout the gates and inside the parking lots. Also, it will be a simple message, being short and directly to the point. And not only that, it's very important to remind everyone inside the community that it's all about creating an eco-culture. So, as Kevin said in the beginning, this is actually what we're presenting for. So, not only to raise awareness, but to do actually something about it. And just to have a little idea, about 620 cars come in to Graded every day during the morning. We don't have the sign yet, but it's we already ordered it. But this is something. This is how it's gonna look.
It would have a little comment on it, like a child suffering from all the exhaust in the parking lots, and as Victor said, quick, short messages that they can, when they pass by the cars, they can read it really fast.
All right. So after we conclude everything, we're gonna wait several weeks, and we're gonna gather new data in order to compare with the previous data that we just presented to you. Not only that, if everything goes as planned, we're gonna be able to reduce carbon emissions in Graded, and that's one step closer to solving the global warming issue in our community.
Even as we were talking to you, you can take this project to your own schools, and if we spread it all around, imagine we can make a change. It's little by little we can make a change.
So for our third and final project, we kind of continue the Escola project 1.0, just Escola project. This all started in 2011. My dad works in a shopping mall, and when they build shopping malls, they try to find good sinks, good toilets, and all those things. And so my dad was just talking about me because they were building a new mall, which was finished last year. And so I kind of got the idea of doing that at Graded as well. And when we first started, we put sink faucets on all the sinks at school. And it was a huge process just to count all the sinks. And it's a two-part project, and that part was already huge. So what we did, we implemented in all sinks at school, sink faucets, and in total they saved 7 to 13% of all Graded water consumption. And it proved effective because we put it in May of 2012, so it's been more than a year. And we estimated that it would save 120 cubic meters of water per year, and that's per month, and that's a huge amount. We'll convert that to liters later on so you can have a better understanding of what that means, but that's huge. But in reality, we actually saved 150 cubic meters of water per year just with sinks. But that's not the focus of today. The focus of today is a 2.0. When we talked to the school's superintendent, we offered two projects, the sink project and the toilet project. The toilet project was not approved because it costed around $20,000, and our school has a policy that we were unaware of back then. Now we need 3 different budgets and 3 different companies to see which one's better, which one's more reliable, cost benefit, break-even points, and all those things. And we didn't know that, but the sink project only costed $3,000, so that was instantaneously approved. And in a period of 15 days, the whole school was changed, all the sinks at school were changed. But so the toilet project was not approved, and our superintendent, Mr. Ferdig, asked us to give kind of a range of a year to see if the sink project proved effective, so we could later on continue the 2.0 project. And what we go back. So what we did, at first we were trying to put huge toilet valves inside the toilet, or actually change them, and they would limit the time span of the flush. So like, I don't know why people do this, but they do. I've been watching people in the bathroom. They hold the flush for more than 3 seconds, and for no reason at all, because after like a second and a half, everything goes down. And so that valve would limit the time span to 2 seconds, and that's it. Even if you kept holding it, it would stop. But then that was disapproved, and so we contacted the same company that I'll talk about in a few seconds. And they actually had this new modern little small valve which you just put inside the wall. It's not a hard process, and it limits the amount of water instead of the amount of time. And it's pretty easy. We already tested it, so there's no problem at all. And the effectiveness remains the same. You'll see it later. We'll talk about it later. So why are we going to do this? Or why did we do this? Because we want to help the planet with saving water, because water deficits and water scarcity is one of Richard's global issues, and it is really urgent. Last year when we presented the 1.0 project, we had data that 1 in every 3 people live in water scarcity, and so that's 33% of our planet, so that's a lot. And economically wise, it saves water and money for our school, a lot of both of them, and I think Graded likes the first bullet. And it will be viewed as an even more responsible and caring institution, which we already are now. Sharing this idea with you, we can even augment this perspective towards our schools, and thumbs up for that. And so this is the company that we chose on both projects. The first one with a sink, we only did that one, remember? I didn't know we needed the 3 companies. But that's the company that the shopping malls my dad works at uses, and for like the past 15 years it's proved to be pretty effective, so we chose that. It's the leader in the market, and we worked with them at the shopping mall, we worked with them with the sinks, and it worked. And it focuses only on reducing water consumption, so we don't have to focus on the reliability of the products. And they usually, their products are directed to places or companies or schools with a high flux of people, an average 1,500 students, exactly what our school has. So that's another thumbs up. And there are more benefits to it because every single product has a 2-year warranty. So in case it breaks, 2 years later you can get it. And 24-hour maintenance service. Something happens in school, and the next day it'll be ready. That's good. And what the valves, the smaller one, the 2.0 one, they do is that for every flush, they save 30 to 40% of water, proportionally to the past flush, and that's a huge amount. And we went around every single sink and toilet at school, every single one, and counted every single one. And we counted around 115 valves, but for the purposes of the installation process, or if the people in maintenance break it, we asked around 20 more valves, so 132 valves, and each valve costs around $60, so it's a total of $7,000 investment, and it's easy to install and fix since it's a really small piece. The guy that put the tentative piece in our toilet, it took him half a minute, so that's good. But the problem with that is that our school has a new art center. It's pretty modern, I think 2006, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they have toilets where the flush is actually on the little box. And legally, it's the best toilet there is. By legally, I mean it uses only 6 liters of water per flush. And in Brazil, legally, that's the minimum you can have, and it's enough. And that's what the small things do now. But we can't change anything with that because they're already basically perfect, legally. So most of the toilets at school are compatible with that. So it's not going to be all the toilets at school. Hopefully, we'll find some ways to ameliorate those so-called, and you'll understand what the call is, like toilets. And they're easier to fix than the older valves. And if we chose to buy the older valves that we proposed a year ago, they look identical to like the default valves our school has. So the maintenance people that weren't necessarily aware of it would basically just put, if one broke, they would just put the other valve back, and so nothing would really happen. So that's why we chose this one. And then since we needed 3 different companies, here are the latter 2 companies. One is Deca, it's known worldwide, so that's why we kind of chose it for reliability. It doesn't give us a range of the products like Daco did, from 30 to 40% of water saved per flush. This is only 30%. And again, 132 toilet valves, but it's around $100, so it's almost $5,000 more. And we need to purchase, Deca doesn't have a distributor in Brazil, so we need to purchase it from distribuizados, from different distributors in Brazil, so the maintenance wouldn't be as convenient and as easy as Draco. And they're bigger valves than the other ones, because only Draco had the really convenient black ones. And so they would be a little bit harder to install, but we still considered it. And then the third company was Local, and that's the company that the Art Center toilets have. And I think 5 other toilets at school are Local as well. I don't really understand why, but they didn't give us a range as well. It's just 30%. And they're a little cheaper, but you have to purchase them from a distributor as well, and they're only compatible with 5 Local toilets. So why purchase just 5? So then we ended up choosing Draco. And then when is this going to happen? Well, when we proposed to the superintendent, just like we did with the sink project, we implemented the sink faucets during the break because we didn't want students to not be able to use the bathroom. And so we offered the same idea for it to be during the December break. But he was like, well, if it takes less than a minute to implement it, might as well do it during weekends and stuff. He's still trying to find money to do it, because the Graded Fund, there's something called the Graded Fund. They have money for projects, all those things, but they had a limited amount of money, so we're still trying to find money to implement it. So we hoped to do it during the December-January break, but the superintendent is more skewed to the let's just do it whenever we can. And the delivery after we pay is just 15 days, so we don't really have to worry about time. Next. And the key points of our school regarding water, because so far I've only talked about the little valves and money. Around 2,000 cubic meters of water are used per month, and that includes the kitchen, the garden, the toilet, sinks, everything. And we can call this the general consumption of water at school. And each cubic meter costs around $6, so that's around $10,000 a month. That was before we put the toilets. And you already did this. So in total, if each little valve saves 30 to 40% of water, we'll save 9 to 12% of general consumption just with the toilets, but then aggregate that with the sinks, which were around 8%, that's 20% of the general consumption saved. And here, it's only with toilets, but imagine, keep the sinks in mind, it's a lot of water. So approximately 200 cubic meters of water a month are going to be saved, and around 2,000 per year. And that's around $13,000 of not paid water per year. And if the investment is only $7,500, then the break-even point will be after like 8-9 months. So we don't really have to worry about money. And so the overall economy, just with the toilets, we would save up to 2.4 million liters of water per year. And with the sinks, it's 3.5 million liters of water per year. And just keep in mind, an Olympic pool has 2.5 million liters of water per year. So with the sink, we're saving an Olympic pool and a half per year. And that's huge. I can't really describe that. And as I said, 7 to 10 months. And we chose Draco. So, and here we can, I think it's a video now. Yeah, let's go there. So, this was the toilet before we implemented the black valve. And it's really hard to see with the brightness, but there's a lot of water and the flux is tremendous. It just keeps on going and going and going and going. And then this is the new thingy, and if you can't see it, the water is only coming from here, and it just goes directly into the tunnel. That's the tunnel. It just goes into it. And so we were talking before coming here, and there's this little trivia about Brazil. There's this place called Feijoada, and it's basically like it's basically beans, sausage, meat, and then rice, and then farofa, and all. It's a huge plate. And so if it's big and pretty dense, and if you are getting the feijoada part, think of McDonald's. This is McDonald's approved. So far, we haven't had any occurrences, bad things floating around. It's McDonald's feijoada approved. You don't have to worry about it. And remember, the black sauce, it's limited to 6 liters of water per use. That's a lot, but still legally that's a minimum. And if it's legally proved to be the minimum, then it's okay. Keep McDonald's in mind. So.
Okay, so plastic, cars, and toilets. Why are they all in the same presentation? Next. You might be wondering, why are there so many projects? Why do we insist on the plastic-free campus? What do plastic, cars, and water even have to do with each other? Well, it's a pretty simple answer, really. By being active in many aspects of our daily life, whether it's us drinking water, whether it's us in the car, whether it's us taking a dump, we can make people aware that there is a way to be more eco-friendly, eco-conscious doing those activities. So by having this huge variety, people will realize, oh, I can be environmentally conscious whenever. It's not just, oh, when I'm drinking water, I have to do it from my aluminum bottle. I can do it while in the tub. And with this awareness, it there's an incentive to be environmentally friendly regardless of the situation. And so we expect that we can create a more environmentally friendly mentality within the school by creating all these projects that will be advertised. And so they'll be aware of all that's occurring, and they'll hopefully learn that you can be thoughtful in everything you do. This is a funny, well, not that funny, but I was leaving class and I walk into the bathroom and I see that there's a urinal that's water's just rushing out of it. And I wonder, why is water just coming out of it? And I realized that the button was stuck. And so the kind of idea behind this is that if we can create an eco-culture, whenever people see something like the plastic floating in the water that they don't or the water rushing out of the urinal, they'll do something about it. And that's a little video. was kind of an impromptu thing that I did. Thankfully, no one walked into the bathroom while I was doing this.
And now we have one last thing.
Future field trip. Let's go to the bathroom.
It's not a joke. It's